Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the test account and we're going to be looking at the official release of Gavus. We'll go with Gavus. So the Keeper of Order, I want to run through the skills and abilities. Now, the first time we looked at this, of course, it was just all X's. We didn't know exactly how he was going to work, what he was going to work, what the kind of percentages were. So very interesting in how they work, and he does work in conjunction with Eugene, which we'll look at. So he has 3 rules when we start. Rebirth is inviolable. No damage can be dealt to him while he's entering the battlefield. Life cannot be absurd. Enemies cannot harm Gavus unprovoked. And then death is the order of chaos, which I think is the most interesting. The deaths of the enemy heroes must follow a certain order. So if a rule is violated, he gets 50 energy, which is going to be huge, guys. He has a bunch of different ways for him to get energy. Each rule can trigger this effect 1 time per second. Now, of course, the active part of this, now he is a damage dealer. He is a mage. He is a damage dealer. He invokes Order of Punishment, dealing 3 hits of damage for 250% of the attack rating to the enemy with the highest cumulative damage. This means he is specifically targeting another hero that did the most damage. Now, I'm thinking a lot of PvP or places where you only have 1 damage dealer. That is going to be his primary target in here. When fighting with Eugene, he deals 3 hits of additional AoE damage, which is going to be awesome. So he does his attack. If Eugene is in there, Eugene is going to trigger him to do 3 more attacks, which are going to be AoE. The scales of balance sense the battlefield order every 3 seconds, and Gavus' normal attack changes based on the damage. Now, this is going to change every 3 seconds based on where you're at. Normal attack heals the weakest ally for 160%. Normal attack deals damage to the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage. So again, targeting that one specific hero. And interesting, guys, because when you look at the Orca Beam, increases the defense of the weakest ally by 35%, but reduces the defense of the enemy with the highest damage for 35%. Now, I'm assuming that if you're in a boss, since we only have 1 target, that is going to be the one that is going to get this. So not only is he going to do a considerable amount of damage, but he has a defense reduction, which is going to be huge, guys, when it comes to the hero. Then, of course, recovers 20% of the lost health to the weakest ally, and then deals additional damage, so the highest cumulative damage for 20% of his max health. So we do have attack in here, and we do have max health in here. Both of those are going to be huge, capping it at 300% of the attack rating. So the bigger you build this hero out, the better he is going to perform. The Rebirth is inviolable. At the start of battle, he slowly descends from above, which we'll look at in just a minute. Dealing damage to enemies and allies is reduced by 90%. Damage dealt by enemies and allies, so a big reduction until he gets into the battlefield, guys. So during the entrance, when allied heroes take damage, he gains 50 energy up to 600 energy. Like I said, he can gain a ton of energy through multiple ways, and it's kind of crazy to see. So after entering the energy recovery rate of enemy heroes with the highest cumulative damage, again, this is going to be his target, has a massive reduction. After he enters, if an ally hero is lower than that of the counterpart, they gain a shield, which again, the protective, even though he's a mage, the support aspect of it, equal to the difference in health, no lower than 300% of the attack rating, no higher than 600 attack rating. If there are no enemy counterparts or the counterpart dies, the ally gains a shield 350% of the attack rating. After he enters, imposes his punishment on the enemy hero with the highest cumulative damage, again, targeting that one specific hero, causing them to lose health in 3 stages. Each stage of health loss is equal to 70% of the damage the enemy has dealt during the entrance, but cannot be lower than 300% of the attack rating. So again, kind of crazy with this heroes, guys. When an allied hero takes damage from an enemy, other than the one directly opposite to them, damage is reduced by 15%. That is a pretty solid damage reduction just flat off of the bat. Increases damage reduction by 30% when allies take damage from enemies directly opposed to them, and grants the allied hero 20 energy each time they take damage. Again, I don't know how this is going to look or what this is going to be affected in boss modes, but that sounds kind of broken right there. When an allied hero takes damage from an enemy other than the one opposed to them, it triggers the Judgment, dealing additional health loss equal to 150%. Allied heroes can trigger the punishment 1 time every 2 seconds. So again, they had to cap him because his damage is so high. And then, of course, Death is the Order of Chaos. That is the third one. And you notice 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 abilities or the 3 rules that he does have. After he enters, he determines the order based on the enemy's cumulative damage, with the highest hero ranked as first. The first enemy hero shares 15% of damage taken by all allied heroes. So this is literally just going to burn down that very first hero. Shared first hero is increased to 30%. Healing received is reduced by 30 points. And then the damage taken by the first enemy hero is 50%, guys. That is massive when it comes to these heroes. Then you combine on the SP effect, which is right down here. If it'll let me click anywhere else. Order's Truth. When the rules are first violated, he gains 50 magical Pierce points. When the first enemy dies, all allied heroes immediately recover 40% of the health, and he gains 500 energy. So I don't know. I mean, I think the energy is going to be pretty good, but it's going to be interesting with both of them, which one we're really going to look at and which one is going to be super effective. Now, looking in here at the trials, visually, very cool, guys. So there he descends. Now, that, of course, is that second ability. Stays stationary. And then, of course, you can see the number 1, 2, 3. This is the death order for the heroes. And I'm wondering if you can kind of change it, because right there, 2 died before 1. And then he becomes 1. So with different parts, so you can see now he went to 2, even though there's no 1. That's going to be kind of confusing to me, in my opinion, because they're not going in different. Now he became 1 again because he was the only one there. So overall, guys, visually really cool with those scales, and they do come in quite a bit if you have more heroes. And I'm even thinking any energy recovery heroes are going to make a really big difference on how fast these ultimate abilities are being cast. But that is really, really cool looking. Then, of course, if he's running with Eugene, he's going to do another 3 attacks, and those 3 attacks are going to be AoE damage. Let's look at what we got here, guys. So here we have, they did not give us, it didn't give us Eugene, but I want to put in just tanks. So let's go minimal tanks. Let's go some support. I'm wondering, you know what? I'm going to put him in the bottom middle. There, we'll go with this one. Again, pretty limited to what we have now, his SP effect. Now, interesting enough, guys, coming in, I mean, we're talking 3, 4, 5 seconds before he even enters the battlefield, which is kind of crazy. There we go. We buffed him up right there. But I mean, we have 1 enemy left at this point. Let's drop some different heroes out of here. Let's try this again. Let's just put 1 hero in here. And I'm thinking even just to the fact now, of course, Tamris is going to be the only one here, but I want to try to essentially get him to do something, guys. If he's coming in battle 5 seconds late, and of course he just gets rocked right there. But that's kind of crazy that he's coming in that much later than the rest of the heroes with a full 5 team, especially just the trio guys. But boom, he has 5-second entrance. And of course, Tamara's putting them in a lot of crowd control. Does get crowd controlled right there, guys. So he's getting burned down with the crowd control. That again is pretty interesting to see. That crowd control aspect is just going on there. That's going to be, could be a decent way to counter him. There we go. He moved into the middle. I believe that was the taunt. Crowd controlled from the back with Leonardo. There's the crowd control again. Boom. There's the scales, which it didn't go on Leonardo, which interesting. So it went all on Brutus. What does the damage look like, guys? 3, 2. Huh. Kind of an interesting build right there. But all right, guys, so that's going to do it for Gavus. Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think of him. And as always, thank you guys for watching.